Good morning, my gardening friends. So this is part 2 of my end of May garden tour. We'll just pick up where we left off. Thank you for tuning back in. So this is another under construction area. I've been pondering for a couple years on what to do with this area. If you remember, last year we had our vegetable garden in here. That has been moved over here, which I'll show you guys that later. But this year I decided to make this a little sitting area with lots of flowers and a lot of a lot of interest. So in the center, I plan to put a table and chair set. Probably I'd like to find the wrought iron kind, something antique, if I could find it at a decent price. So anyway, that'll be the center, and then around the area, I mentioned this before, will be picket fence eventually. So this will be just a nice little sitting area. The pink flower you see here is the primrose. Takes over quickly and fills in. Very nice. A must-have, I think. Not only does it brighten up the garden, but it blooms twice a year. So once all these blooms fade away, then it will bounce back. Also in here, where the fountain was up front, I had 2 dahlias in there, so I had to transfer them back here, and I believe those are the 2 blue ones. So keeping the blue and the pastel colors in here. Relaxing colors. We still have the Marcus salvia that I probably needed to get like 2 more of. And this is the blue chip, which I don't know, hopefully it's doing okay there. But this is new. I got 2 of these, the blue chip dwarf butterfly bushes. And these will only get no bigger than 2 feet tall and 2 feet wide. Got another one here. And then in the back, in a pretty shaded area, I divided a clump of purple salvia. And I've just put them along here. And I just thought all the purple would look nice with the white picket fence behind it. The sage, the cooking sage herb, is fading out. So I'll be cutting those back shortly. And then we have more dahlias in here. I think these were the blue ones, of course. I think some blue ones and white ones we had in here. Poppies I started from seed this spring. And I can't remember what color they are. Watch them be red and I'll have to move them. Over here, the super bells, the white and the grape punch. And these will kind of trail over this antique wash tub or washer. So again, keeping the rustic theme going and antique theme going. A little garden shed there with antiques. We've got Coleus over here that I started from seed. This needs to be planted pretty soon in the containers now that it's warm, consistently warm outside. Either containers or I might pop some in the ground. Alright, let's walk on over here to the new vegetable garden. So you can't see them now, but in this end here are the sunflowers. These are mammoth sunflowers. They get about supposed to get a foot to 16 inches wide, so they should be pretty nice here on this corner. Again, I saved the seed for the birds. The birds love the sunflower seeds. That is, if they have left me any in here, because they were over here digging them up yesterday. In here we have just a few ornamental corn that I had left. The rest of them are planted at my grandparents' house. They did a huge garden this year. And I know I told you guys I wasn't going to do any vegetables this year, but here I am. It's kind of hard not to when you love to grow stuff. Okay, in here we have a couple or a few of the pumpkins. These are like the blue and kind of warty kind of pumpkins. So my first year growing those, so fingers crossed they do good. And then I popped a strawberry plant in here. I've got 3 tomatoes in here. This one is Better Girl, and I think I have a Better Bush and Celebrity. The other one is right here. I need to get a cage for that one. In between them are peppers. These are the bell peppers. Here are all my squash. I think gooseneck variety, and not gooseneck, crooked neck, and a straight variety, I think. Yeah, crooked neck and yellow neck straight squash. And then in this bare spot, I put in a couple of rows of green beans. And then in this bed that's not done, I need to get more dirt in here, but these are the Sugar Baby watermelon. So fingers crossed that these turn out alright. You might recall, if you've been following me, that these garden beds were in the back. And of course they only get just a few hours of sun back there, so I decided to move them up here. Hopefully we have good success. Alright, let's go into the backyard now. Hopefully this is coming out okay, but I've got purple salvia in here. Lots of purple and the coral apricot color together. This rose is, I don't know the name of it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Again, I can't see the camera that good, so I'm hoping this comes out okay. Got lamb's ear. I'm letting this flower because it adds that purple in here. This rose has really done good so far. Also in here we have Veronica or Speedwell, which will also be purple. And this red dianthus I just threw in here because I guess it overwintered. Unless it's like a perennial variety, but I thought it was annual. but I just threw it in there. Throwing the color scheme off a bit, but it looks nice. This is big ears, lamb's ear. Columbine, and it is going to seed, which is fine because I want that to come up here, there, and everywhere. Let me get in here and get a close-up on it. Just love all the purple in here. Sorry for the bumpiness, it's kind of unlevel in this garden bed. Hopefully that's coming out okay. Bathsheba climbing rose that I got from David Austin this year. It's been in there about a month or so. I'm hoping I get blooms on it this year, but they're kind of slow growing. And then these bare spots you see here and there, those are purple gladiuses. You might say I like purple in the garden. Alright. So here is our main garden island bed. Big, huge clump of daylilies there. And that might change in the future. Might break those up a little bit and change the curve there. Gorgeous clump of the primrose. Isn't that a nice bright highlight there? They love the sun, so they like the sun and they don't like their feet to be wet. The irises are slowing down, or they're wrapping up now that the heat's here. But the tiger lilies, the phlox, black-eyed Susans, coneflower in there, they are all popping up. Miscanthus grass. Smoke bush in there. I think I've seen the first cicada, you guys. I heard that these are supposed to be pretty bad this year. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see. I'm trying to find him. He is right here. So the first cicada that I've seen so far. Let me get my shadow out of there. I do that all the time. I apologize. This is a sedum. Ground cover sedum. And we have another sedum in there. The cherry brandy rutabacia is under here. The seedlings were so small, I kind of wanted to protect them a little bit, but there's one there. So hopefully they do good. I think that is a clump of calendula here coming up. Blanket flower. There's Edgar. I told you he shows up for every video. The wisteria is still holding its color. And I think I will move this. I've been thinking about moving this for a while because I've seen pictures with it growing on a pergola, which we have a pergola back there, so that is on my to-do list to move that. There is the other Bathsheba rose, and then this gorgeous peony. Again, I don't know the varieties. I have a hard time labeling stuff. It's not that I have a hard time, I'm just lazy. And then we got more gladius in here. Evidently perennial or hardy mums coming up there. And over here, usually they, I get them in a pot in the fall and they never come back for me, but every year I go ahead and plant them just in case. And finally I've got some that actually come back. Burning bushes have filled out over here. This is the first year. This is this. I think I've had this. This is the third season I've had this hydrangea, and I think it's a microphiliac hydrangea. However you say that, I probably butchered that. But this is not like the limelights. So this will get either, I think, either the pink or the blue flowers on it. But I'm so excited because this was from my grandma that I got 3 years ago from her garden. She dug up a bunch of stuff, but this is the first season that it's had blooms on it. I've got some acidic stuff to amend the soil around it. I don't know, you guys comment on here and tell me if I'm too late to do that, or if I do it now, will they still turn blue? Or is that something that happens the following year? But anyway, knowing me, I want them to be blue. Creeping buttercup. And then we have another hydrangea. I think this is a pretty good spot for these guys, because it gets morning sun and then pretty shaded throughout the day. I don't even want to let you guys see this area right here. This is a work in progress area. I plan to put, fresh soil down, and I want to plant it full of something that will fill in and a solid color. I thought Gomphrena, if I could find it, would be pretty, the purple. But this whole circle, if you can even see the circle, I want to fill it in with one color that will take over. Maybe even a Super Tunia bubblegum, maybe. So that's in the works. Got an airplane overhead. So So let's walk around and check out this area in the back side of the garden. Got a super tunia white in there, or super bells. Roses doing okay. They were transplanted this year. Over here I've got Morning Glory coming up. Daylilies. Some more of that spiderwort that I transplanted. But check out this spiderwort. Absolutely gorgeous. This is my favorite variety. That chartreuse with that deep blue. Nice red rose back there. Hollyhock's getting some growth on it. I've planted several back there, but that is the one that is really doing anything. And then I believe this rose back here is a forever and ever rose. Just beautiful. The Siberian irises in here are done. So I was hoping that the spiderwort, this is the regular, dark green spiderwort. But I was hoping I had more of that in this curve to take over the blue. Not sure what happened to it, but... And then we've got sedum. Autumn Joyce sedum. Another purple iris yet to bloom. This is full shade over here, so I'm surprised that it's even got a bloom on it at all. A 9-bark. Again, I've got lots of space to fill in. But I think we've done quite a bit in the, this is our 4th season here. We moved here in 2018. We bought the house. Of course, there was nothing back here at all. All these plants and garden beds and landscape is what we've put in. Hosta garden. I was just sitting over on the pergola a few days ago, and I was like, I really should have put these hostas that are shorter. I wish I would have put those, up close, and then put these taller green ones in the back, so that might happen. It's on the very end of the to-do list, but I will probably switch those. And then I want to add some blue hostas in here too. The blue angel. If you remember, this area here was nothing but dirt, and this spring I seeded it. Doesn't look too bad. Looks better than it did anyway. Solomon seal. Beautiful shade plant. We've got more hostas here. I need to get a few more to put in here. I love these big bluish ones there. So that nice contrast there with the, again, I don't know the names, I'm terrible with that. More Solomon seal, and the white astilbe is in bloom now. Cat just bumped my hand, so I apologize. That Brunera still holding some blue flowers. Again, lots of space to still fill. Slowly but surely. We've got some red astilbe in here as well. I think I like the white the best. Lots of loosestrife. One piece of this and it will take over a garden in no time. But it should be pretty once it blooms. I just wish the blooms would stay a little longer. Nice white rose there. I think that one's called Iceberg. But I think that's going to get moved and I will put the wisteria there. It'll either go there or on the other corner. Gorgeous Nandina there that's loving its life. More primrose. A white drift rose. And then the red drift rose is starting to pop. So this is another little project area that I'm working on. If you remember, the raised beds were here. So those are going to be up front now, which leaves me this space to do something with. So my plans and hopes and dreams anyway is to have you know, another sitting area, garden, but in the center here I want a stock tank fish pond. You guys can look that up and know what I'm talking about, which I'm sure you do, but it'll just be like a water plants and stuff like that, and then I want fish in it eventually. I know that takes some time to figure all that out and get it just right for the fish, but that is my goal and my plan for this little spot, and of course plan it all up around it. Another spirea in here. Potentilla shrub. These were moved from up front, if you recall. Lots of perennials in here. I won't repeat myself because I said it in the other video, Autumn Joy sedum, or not sedum, Autumn Joy clematis is growing along this. Some garden art. These poor coneflowers, I dug them up because I'll get ready to tell you what I'm doing in that area, but I gotta get those replanted. Pretty yellow rose. Alright, so in this area, see where the container is? This is going to be a circle right here. A circle in the, if you can see it, pathway here. So you'll come along, this will be all planted up. And then this will be a circle with pea gravel or something like that. I've got the inspiration from Laura on Garden Answer. You can find her on YouTube. But she has a circle area with a planter, like focal point, in the middle of her walkway on the side of her house. And yeah, so that was, I was inspired by that. So that will happen here. And you'll be able to walk all the way around this. But that is the plan, and then I still have to get a pedestal for that green urn I showed you guys with the coleus. So that will be my, not this, but that will be my centerpiece there. So yeah, it's pretty much all that's going on back here. Lots of projects going on. I want to redo this patio there. So lots of stuff going on. It'll get there little by little. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this tour here. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate you watching my videos. If you want to follow along my gardening journey, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to my page. And let me know if you have a gardening page, because I would love to subscribe to yours. I love any kind of gardening content